Good evening, morning, night, or afternoon once again, ladies and gentlemen. Just had to quickly restart the stream there, but we are returned and we should be good to go pretty shortly. This is, of course, Winserial versus the boys. For anybody just tuning in right now, it is going to be dead air, and it is indeed going to be a home and away situation because in terms of the pings, we are currently on a European-based server, more so Eastern, I believe, which is going to put the European side, aka Winserial, in the home advantage field against the enemies, which are the boys, or at least they're enemies in terms of Winserial's side. The boy is going to be on slightly higher ping, other than, of course, their European player, actually, Lion, just to clarify. Presto, Crunchy, and Adam, on the other hand, are based in the North American region of the world, Adam being from Canada. Hoping for a pretty good showdown here, to be honest. I am familiar with both of these teams, completely familiar with how they work. I have commentated games with these guys playing before, so more than familiar, and therefore I do believe it is going to be a pretty good showdown. Should be very interesting to see the playstyle, especially of the boys, to be honest, because they do actually have Lion in their squad, who is more used to European gameplay than he is North American. So it will be interesting to see how that favors in the roster, which I know it's going to favor well because they're all incredibly good players. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. The United Nations tournament brought to you by cameraman Krycha and caster haraldsson. Going to be beginning on dead air with a charger, hunter, and a smoker as the tri-cap, and a boomer to complete said tri-cap. We do first and foremost have this choke point here with the plank of wood that connects one building to the other, so a very treacherous choke point at that. Lewis is the first person to cross it. Charger is rocketing in for Lewis with the help of the smoker, actually. Boomer is not going to be very successful, however, some scratches with the help of the smoker will be achieved by the charger. That will conclude the first attack, though Hunter was actually shut down mid-air. Tank is going to be spawning, as tanks generally are pretty early. This is one of the smallest maps in all of Left 4 Dead 2, actually. Tank, first and foremost, will be in the hands of Crunchy. Hunter, Jockey, and Charger is what they have at the moment, the boys. Hunter is moving in first, nicely shut down, though, by that shotgun from Lewis. That's also going to be focus fire helped from Zoe. That's going to be the Charger, Hunter, and Jockey dealt with. Tank, as I say, in the hands of Crunchy. Just simply going to be waiting on the roof for the time being. Currently on pass number 1, which is probably going to go down to pass number 2 fairly soon. They actually have a boomer, the boys. They have a hunter, smoker, and a boomer. It is a decent setup, but of course landing the boomer is much easier said than done in this particular position. Survivors being in this greenhouse area, there's plenty of plant pots to use to dodge the tank as well. Tank's going to be making his way onto the rooftop, as is the boomer. He does actually successfully get a boom. Very well played by Adam there. That's a very good boomer. Tank is going to drop in onto the survivors, missing the first punch, unfortunately. He is going to be pinning Francis in the safe room. Hunter and Smoker have to be pretty quick here. And they are indeed. Hunter is going to land onto Zoe. Smoker not as much luck. He does get a separation smoke onto Zoe, which is dealt with pretty quickly. Tank has achieved an incapacitation. However, it's looking like the end of the tank here, which after a few bullets, the tank is going to lose his life there. Impressively, Snipe achieving 46% of the damage dealt to that tank, so that was well played. Suffering as much as 1 incapacitation, but overall they're looking in reasonable health. That is Team Winserial. Charger and a Jockey, so it's going to be a 2-2 with the Boomer and the Spitter. Which of course does have its advantages that can sometimes cancel out the disadvantages of having a 2-2. Survivors now have this ladder choke point, which, might I remind you, does actually come with it the chance for a death charge, which is being attempted now. Can't quite get it, so they're just going to opt for the spit combination instead, as well as the jockey. That's double spit as well. Damage onto Lewis. Phenomenal damage. Very well played by the boys there. That was very well played in that corner. The jockey as well as the charger kept 2 people in the spit. Not to mention the charged victim had double damage being applied, having the death spit as well as the regular spit. Survivors moving towards the safe room here. 1 more attack remaining for the boys. Smoker is spawned up behind the van. Boomer moves in, gets a nice little boom. That's going to be a double charge, followed by a smoke onto Zoe. Tongue will be cut. Hunter is a little bit late to the party, dealing a little bit more damage onto Zoe, but that's still the right target. She is the highest health among everybody. Despite everything, though, they do make it into the safe room. Team Winserial, achieving themselves a total point margin of 608. That's going to conclude this half of chapter number 1. We're going to swap now, and we're going to put the boys into the survivor side and Winserial into the infected side. Overall, some pretty well-played survivor gameplay up until the end, where the boys really did switch up their infected gameplay from, well, it went 0 to 100 very quickly, I would say. They dealt some very good attacks at the end, especially with the pinning of 2 survivors in the spit. Very well played by them to get that consolation damage despite the tank not really being much of a threat, other than 1 in-cap. We are now going to see how the boys favour on their current situation of being in the away situation. Lai, unfortunately, being the odd one out, as you would say. You know, he does actually have pretty good ping. He does match the others, but him being from Europe, he does actually have that advantage. So technically, he is home right now. Just waiting on a few more players to ready up here, and we shall be going live. Hopefully everybody is having a wonderful day in general. Night, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you're watching from. Thank you as always for tuning in. My name is of course haraldsson, and I am bringing to you the commentary that you're currently hearing. Waiting on the Adam and Crunchy duo to get themselves ready up here. Going to be interesting to see how this tank fight is played, really. Which, not in terms of location, mind you, because location, it is guaranteed to be in the greenhouse, unless, of course, the special infected catch them. But that's what I'm saying. Like, now that Winserial have played their survivor side, they know exactly where the tank is going to spawn, so they could potentially capitalize on that. And they could potentially catch the boys as they are trying to get back into the greenhouse. Excuse me. All in all, 1 more player, the man, the myth, the legend, Crunchy. I would say that's going to be the most important thing to think about, though, is will that advantage work in Winserial's favour, because they know, exactly where it's spawning. So that's what I'm going to be looking out for here. And we shall be going live. But we're not going to see much action yet, of course, because most special infected are going to be waiting for the upcoming wooden plank choke point. So it is at that point where the special infected are going to be attempting their attack. Judging by how the charge is moving around the map, though, I'm wondering if he wants to save the charger for the tank. That's interesting. Let's see what happens there. Francis will be the first person to move over the planks, but no infected attack just yet. I don't believe they perhaps even want to attack. They could actually be waiting for the tank. Which, now that I think about it, I have a feeling indeed, yes. So exactly as I was saying, I wonder how this advantage is going to play in Winserial's favour here. having a charger, boomer, hunter, and a smoker to stampede in and ambush the survivors on their retreat. That's going to be interesting and scary for the boys. They will be attempting to trigger this tank here. They're not too far away from doing so. But of course, Special Infected waiting for their chance to strike. Just a few more percentages, and indeed the tank has now spawned. In moves the smoker with the charger, trying that death charge. They can't quite get it, so they'll opt for a normal charge instead, but the smoker as well, with the distraction, slows them down just that little bit longer. Snipes tank here might be looking to jump through the window, but indeed he chooses against it, which would have probably not been in his favour in all seriousness. He will be jumping straight in though for Bill. Can't quite get him though, very fast movement by Bill and the rest. They do manage to cross that wooden plank with their lives, to be honest. If anybody got pinned there, that would have been over for them. So that's very tense. Jockey moves in, pins onto Bill there, taking him all the way out, and Francis takes a rock in the window frame there. Ooh, that is quite brutal, actually. That's so unfortunate for the boys there. Very well played by the jockey to get that level of distraction, though. So overall, that is a good result for Winserial there. We do have a boomer in the hands of Winserial, along with a hunter and a smoker. Boomer is positioned above the survivors, which is pretty common. He's going to be spawning up and trying the boom there, but unfortunately bullets through the wall, or through the ceiling frame, excuse me, is going to eliminate the boomer. He couldn't make anything happen. So we have a hunter smoker, and that's either going to be a jockey or a charger. Tank looks like he's wanting to move in here. He's on pass number 2. Can't really play long tank here, to be honest. It's not the best place for it. Tank is indeed going to commit onto the survivors. Smoke onto Zoe. Very smart positioning. Tank can't quite get to him in time, though. Or her, excuse me. Tank is struggling to find the first punch here, and he ends up missing a punch here. Ends up punching Zoe, but she has some distance created, though. Charger is scratching a few times. Rock landing onto Bill, followed by a punch, so he does get an in cap, and it's kind of an identical result, actually. It wasn't looking too good for the tank, admittedly, but in the end he manages this. That is a jockey's distraction moving in. Boomer from behind, they don't quite notice it in time, and it did have really good bunny hops as well, to be honest. 500 HP on the tank here, or 552 exactly. Survivors, knowing this, though, are going to be moving forward. Just barely. Ooh, that wasn't even Zoe that skeeted that. That was her teammate. That nearly hit her. Choosing to chase this tank down here, which he only needs a few more bullets, to be honest. 50 HP, can't quite make anything more happen, and he will be dying here. So somewhat of an identical result, maybe more so in favour of Winserial. Let's just see, though, how the remaining infected attacks manage. Because the boys, they're very capable, even on a ping disadvantage. Hunter is spawned up to the left of the survivors, and he's going to be pouncing in here, landing onto Lewis. That could be a death charge here, possibly, and it is indeed a death charge. That's brutal, ruthless. That's, oh my goodness, rest in peace, Crunchy. That is a death charge, ladies and gentlemen. That is absolutely brutal, because if they made it with the health they actually had before he died, they could even have taken the lead here, so that's very devastating. But of course, onwards and upwards for the remaining 3 survivors. The loss of Lewis isn't going to stop them from running towards that safe room. Charger from behind. Smoker's going to be landing as well. Hunter is the final one, but he's a bit too far away. Smoker is still scratching, as well as the common infected surrounding her. That's probably going to be an in-cap, and maybe not even an attempt to save her at all, although they are choosing to save her. Very noble decision, but can they do it in time? Much common infected are surrounding her. That's going to be a katana on Bill. That's a very good melee weapon to use to cover an in-capped survivor. There is so far a jockey spitter and a charger. The safe room is so close. Jockey moves in, the door is shut on him. That slows him down. Charger can't get a spawn, and the spitter is a little bit short. Charger ends up spawning, getting a few scratches onto Francis, but they still make it into the safe room. I mean, they're not going to be taking the lead here, but they're certainly going to be keeping themselves in the game in that absolutely brutally fast-paced chapter. My goodness. We will be transitioning now into chapter number 2 with 608 points in the hands of Winserial, and the trailing, but not by too much, the boys on 335 points exactly. As we saw there as well on these statistics, if it showed up for anybody, that both tanks actually achieved, I believe, the same amount of damage. So all in all, the tank fight was actually quite equal, but my goodness, that was a very good death charge. That was a good hunter. The charger waited the exact amount of time he needed to as well, so well played. But overall, there's a lot more of this game to go. Ladies and gentlemen, you may need to replenish popcorn and drinks and whatever during this game, because it's probably going to be a long one. We're now live in chapter number 2. Winserial taking the driver's seat to begin with. They're on the survivor side. They're going to be dealing with a spitter jockey and a hunter, which are just going to go in despite the sack. That's going to be a hunt spit combination. Oh, actually, no, a jockey spit combination, which could even be better, really. Yes, that was indeed probably better. Indeed it was. I mean, he was still taking damage from the spit on the railing. My goodness, that is terrible luck for Francis. Smoker is attempting to just cause a bit of a nuisance, really. Didn't achieve much with that, other than just slowing down the survivors briefly. It's going to be a charger and a hunter, followed by a boomer. They have to wait 8 seconds for their 4th and final spawn. Tank going to be spawning at 67% of the map, and survivors are only at 30% as we speak. Hunter, jockey, and a charger with the boomer. Hunter is going to pin on the little crane there. Francis, however, charger can't really make much happen just yet. He is going to be pinning again Francis in the same location as the hunter did, so they don't really like Francis right now. He's taking a bit of a pummeling. Nonetheless, the survivors will be making it back inside. So far, they have taken some damage. Especially in terms of Francis. Because he actually is nearing the pseudo in-cap range, where he hasn't been in-capped, but his whole HP is temporary. Spitter, boomer, smoker, and a hunter. Hunter is going to be moving in first, but he gets shut down in the doorway pretty much. Yes, indeed, he does. Smoker having not much more luck, and neither is the boomer or the spitter, which, to be honest, this is a very good place to fight the horde anyway. Spitter is looking to retreat and save that life, but how much longer can she do that for? Will be looking for the delay, which is actually successful, and Zoe is in the spit for a lot longer than she really wanted to be. She took a lot of damage there on account of the very, very troublesome common infected keeping her in it. Hunter, jockey, and a charger. Hunter from behind, jockey moving in as well, both of which are dealt with very quickly. Charger could be looking for something here, even by himself. Can't quite rocket through the window frame there. He does get caught, and unfortunately that's the end of the charger. They could even be looking to try to kill it here. They only end up achieving 26 damage onto it, though, not nearly enough, so charger will be finding himself respawned. Smoker's going to be spawning up on the high ground, as is the charger. Smoker's going to be onto Lewis. They're looking for that death pull, actually. I believe he was hanging high enough for that to possibly have been one. Boomer from behind getting a boom onto Zoe. A lonesome one boom. Smoker tries to get the separation smoke onto Zoe. I have to say, the boys are playing very aggressively on the infected side, and honestly, it is working for them well and truly. The boys are being very aggressive. And you got to give them credit for it, because, you know, it's definitely working. These survivors are taking some damage. Smoker spawned up behind the survivors. Hunter in front. Smoker first onto Francis. Hunter's going to land as well as the charger. Jockey's going to be looking to intercept, but they can shoot through that wall and deal with the charger. And the jockey is also going to be dealt with by being cleared. Survivors now have several floors worth of offices to get through, as well as an imminent tank fight, which the tank has now spawned. Survivors, I believe they were kind of miscommunicating there. I think they may have wanted to go back, but they have chosen to take the tank fight in this room. Smoker, Hunter, and a charger, all of which are going to be moving in for an attack. Hunter's going to land actually onto Zoe, which is very well played there. because she is behind a lot of tables. That's two people on permanently temporary HP. And yeah, as pointed out in the chat there by Crunchy, Zoe is indeed slow. And there's nothing she can do about it either. There are no pain pills to help her right now. She's going to be an easy target for the tank, but she obviously intelligently is going to be behind everybody. Because she knows the tank will go for her first, because she will be such an easy in cap. Boomer has a lot of places to spawn here as well, actually, which they do have, as well as a charger and a jockey. Tank's going to be committing here. Jockey is spawned up as well. Tank is looking for that first punch. Boomer is going to be spawning. He's too far away to land the boom, though. That's going to be an in-cap onto Zoe. Jockey is killed, though. His tank actually doesn't have much more support. Charger's going to be dying as well. Those tables are being a nuisance for the tank. Temporarily, Lewis actually gets clipped in the ceiling there. That's going to be the tank on 500 HP, and it's looking like they actually might survive this tank fight. They're going to immediately revive Lewis there, which is interesting, I have to say. Smoker's going to be looking to set up Lewis for another punch. He can't do so, though, and the tank can't quite curve rock, and he also ends up dying. And again, Snipe with 48% of the damage done to the tank. Before it was 46 points last chapter as well, so he's dealing nearly half of the damage each round here. Boom onto two survivors from behind those pesky little office tables, or walls, excuse me. Jockey, Spitter, and a Hunter. Ready and waiting. There is a Hunter pre-spawned looking for that wall kick onto the first survivor. He does actually end up missing the wall kick and then ending up shut down. Jockey moves in as well, but not with the help of the Spitter, so the damage is a little bit limited. Charger is the only remaining spawn. I'm sorry, Charger and a Spitter are the only remaining spawns here. 4 seconds to go, and that shall be completed. Is going to be a Charger, Smoker, Boomer, and a Spitter. It's a 2-2 to end things here. Depending on how they attack, of course. Boomer first is shut down, though. Very difficult for that to happen. That's going to be a charge onto Zoe, followed by the Spit. That's a guaranteed two-person in-cap, actually, with the help of the Smoker as well. Smoker into the Spit, and, well, with the help of the Charger also. Very, very well played, using the Spitter maximally there. And especially Frey, aka Lewis, is black and white, so they have to be so quick with making it into the safe room here. Smoke behind onto Lewis is going to delay them a little bit. Hunter wall kick is moving in, shut down in the doorway though. That's a smoke in the back, actually, an instant smoke, followed by a jockey and a two-person boom. Oh dear, and actually Francis is being taken so far back, he isn't quite going to be going down here. However, Lewis is black and white and 1 HP. He really has to make it into the safe room. Look at him limping his body straight into that safe room. Can he do it? He can indeed. The Charger stumble is going to kill him. Oh my goodness, I love it. Brilliant. That is exactly what I was hoping was going to happen, if I'm completely honest with you guys. Wow. The stumble through the door ended up killing Lewis, which I knew was going to happen. Wow, incredible. Well, Charger stumble MVP, and rest in peace Lewis. That is some way to go, huh? Moving into the second half of the second chapter here, the boys are now going to be moving onto the survivor side, Winserial over to the infected side. Winserial at this present moment have achieved 1,226 points. 335 to speak of in the hands of the boys, but they have not yet played this chapter, so that is of course going to climb. We shall be going live. Ladies and gentlemen, the United Nations Tournament with a $150 cash prize to look forward to at the end for the winners. Boomer, Hunter, Spitter, and a jockey. It is going to be a 2-2 to begin things here, of course. Same setup as always. That jockey's just beating the hell out of those planks. Hunter is going to be moving in with the Spitter and the Boomer. That's going to be a Hunt-Spit combination. Not really much else to follow, though, so the damage is limited at best. Survivors have no difficulty now getting up the ladder, unless, of course, the Spitter provides a good enough delay, which the Spitter is going to be recharging. chooses to spit down onto the survivors, and that is actually a very awkward place to be spat on, even without special infected, as we can see. Very much damage to be achieved, even without the help of anybody. Survivors now in close quarters. They have a hunter, smoker, charger, and a spitter to deal with. In the upcoming choke point, more than likely going to be the death charge opportunity, because if you charge someone out of those windows there, they are dead. Charger moves in instead, though, for the charge-spit combination. However, spitter isn't actually anywhere to be seen until very late, so the charge-spit combination didn't prevail. Hunter moving in for scratches, gets one scratch onto Bill, followed by the death of a machete or katana. Don't remember which. Survivors doing the traditional approach. They're going to be moving into the first room that you encounter down those stairs. A very appropriate room to be taking a horde, for sure. Smoker, boomer, charger, and a jockey, so it is going to be a tri-cap with the boomer. Charger is moving in off the back of the smoker there. Jockey's going to land a little bit, as is the smoker. Damage is being spread across the board, and a proxy boom will go onto Francis as well. Have to say, the damage being inflicted by Winserial is nothing to ignore. For sure. 7 seconds remaining on the longest spawn timer. They have a spitter, hunter, charger, and a jockey, so they have a tri-cap. Let's just see how it pays off for them, though. Hunter is moving in at the doorway, as is the charger. Charger connects with the bed, though, unfortunately, and jockey can't really make much happen either. Actually, no, he does land onto Zoe, surprisingly, and the damage is still being fairly spread.
We got weapons over here.
However, the survivors have been taking a fair bit of damage, especially in the case of Francis and Bill. Spitter's going to be looking to get rid of that life simply because the... Well, actually, they get rid of the boomer as well. They could even be looking for a potential quad cap here. And if luck is in their favor, the next setup will end up being a quad cap. So, for their sake, let's hope that they do, because that will make things very interesting. Charger and a jockey, so they have indeed given themselves a quad cap here. Which is going to be moving in now. Hunter is a bit low, though. The synchronization isn't really there so far. Hunter is skeeted in 2 shots. Smoker is going to be cut immediately. Jockey is going to get a hang onto Lewis, but that is all she wrote. He will be revived pretty quickly. And he will also be shot as well, down to 2 HP. My goodness, Jockey surviving with 2 HP. Can't imagine what he can really do with that, if I'm honest. He's still going to be... more than likely... No, he's actually saving his spawn. So that 2 HP jockey, let's see what that does. Spitter, hunter, and a jockey, and a boomer. They do have a 2-2 here. They don't have that smoker or charger, though. Unfortunately for the Winserial squad. Fortunately for the boys. Hunter is going to land onto Francis, followed by the spit and the boomer stumble. Jockey moves in as well, but I mean, he doesn't really have much HP, so he's going to be eliminated. My goodness, though, the damage really is piling up, and Lewis is caught in the spit there on account of both the death spit and the common infected surrounding him. They have right now. They have achieved the first survivor to be on bleeding HP, that being Lewis. And well, Francis as well. Speaking of that, with the help of the charger, that is going to be 2 people on bleeding HP here. That is going to be a quad boom as well, which is going to make their lives hectic. Boomer pop is going to make it very difficult to revive Francis. Only just getting revived here. That's going to be the 2 bleeders. They're going to be taking their pain pills. Tank is going to be spawning in the hands of Xeniax here. I believe every survivor may need to take their pain pills in this situation, including the ones that are fast. But Bill and Zoe, because they are 2 punches from being down here. Both of them are definitely at that threshold, so it's a very risky situation for them to be in. I imagine they will take their pills. Tank is now going to be moving in with the Tricap, the Jockey, Hunter, Charger, looking for that first target. And yes, indeed, they do take their pills. That's going to be Lewis as the first target, but he's punched over the tables there. Separation being caused, actually, though. That's going to be a pin onto Zoe. Stumble of the Charger actually makes it very difficult for them. Tank hasn't got the first in-cap yet, and he is actually on 2,250 HP and is having to retreat there as the spawns are now down. However, it's kind of a 50-50 really, because they have somebody who's limping now, that being Lewis. He's an easy target. And, well, not to mention black and white. So that's very much a disadvantage for the survivors. However, Tank on 1,800 HP. Let's see what more he can manage here, though. Hunter, Boomer, and a Smoker is his support. He is moving in. That's going to be a two-person boom. That's going to be a separation Smoker. Hunter is looking for the interception onto Zoe, which he does indeed get. That's going to be punches onto Bill as well. This is not looking good for the survivors whatsoever. The Magnum is good enough to clear Zoe. However, the Smoker's still going. Very nice rock as well. That's going to be an in-cap, followed by a death of Crunchy, aka Lewis. 2 incapacitations. Zoe is surrounded by common infected as well. It is not looking good for the lives of the boys here. That's going to be Zoe, the last remaining survivor, smoked in spit. And she is going to fall to her demise, ladies and gentlemen. So hectic, so stressful, but we have achieved ourselves a wipe, thanks to Winserial. So unfortunate, to be honest with you. I really did think that the boys could have actually done that, and they could have made it further, but, well, what can you do against a good Boomer and having somebody black and white? Really, it's sort of understandable in the same sense, but my goodness, what a bunch of rounds we are getting. Moving into chapter number 3. And I have to say, the points difference between these two teams is really nothing to take into consideration, ladies and gentlemen, because both of these teams are pulling out some very good plays, and there is a little bit of misfortune happening for some of these teams as well, I will admit. So, all in all, this is definitely an exciting game, and I cannot wait to see how much it unfolds further along. Just going to be waiting for one more player, that being the Canadian man, Adam, and we will be going live. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. As I say, for any unaware or anybody just tuning in, my name is Haraldsson, commentating on the one and only Krycha livestream on Twitch. For the United Nations tournament with a cash prize of $150, waiting for the victorious teams towards the very end. However, the very end is not relevant to this. We are very much not at the end. We are very early in the tournament, actually. We shall be going live here. Hunter is spawned up above the survivors. They also have a Jockey, Spitter, and a Boomer. Hunter is looking for the wall kick, gets caught on the ladder instead though. Jockey is dead, stops and eventually killed. That's going to be some spit damage onto Zoe in the doorway of the safe room. However, not much more to follow. Francis is boomed, but he has not taken a single swipe from a common infected. We have a Smoker, Hunter, Charger, and a Boomer. So we do have a Tricap with the Boomer for the scaffolding-based area of the map. Smoker is spawned up, however he gets caught out and shut down, as well as the Boomer there. Hunter is spawned up, but again he also gets caught out with a mistake, and unfortunately that was mistake after mistake, to be honest with you, so that's unfortunate for the boys. And indeed, yeah, Crunchy just saying there with the some ladders can be an absolute nuisance when you're trying to get rocket spawns, especially. Getting caught on them is a nightmare. That's going to be a Charger, Smoker, and a Jockey, as well as a Spitter. Not the worst setup, really, so long as the Charger can land, but that is easier said than done. Charger on the high ground, charging in, but getting focus fired into oblivion. Spitter has nothing really to work with here. Smoker's going to get some separation onto Francis, but it's not really separation because, well, Bill jumps down for him, jumps down for his mate, and absolutely obliterates that pesky Smoker. 9 seconds would be the highest spawn timer we have so far. We have a Boomer a hunter, and a charger. So the next spawn is a jockey. It is a tri-cap with a boomer this time. Hunter is looking for that 25 damage bounce. It is possible to get a 25 damage bounce here if you use the walls correctly. They notice the positioning of the hunter. Double boom is going to be executed. One shot skeet though, followed by the charger meeting his demise. Little bit of a little bit of lacking synchronization, but still very, very well played by the survivors. That was a very clean and efficient shutdown of the special infected there. Tank is actually not too far away as well. We're on 18% of the map, and tank spawns at 29%. Going to be witnessing another attack on this scaffolding framework here. Smoker from below, Hunter moving for that damage pounce as well. In he moves, just barely misses Lewis there. He was boomed actually, that's unfortunate. Spitter is not successful, it ends up spitting through the scaffolding and onto the ground level instead. That is all she wrote for the attack as survivors make their way forward, but they're not going to make it much further because tank is now going to spawn. Which it does indeed do so in the hands of Lion. The one person on their team actually with pretty good ping, so that could be to their advantage here. Charger from behind, nice separation charge, triple boom as well. Jockey can't quite get the interception. Tank is unfortunately too far away for anything to happen, but still, that was very good damage at the very least, and 3 people boomed. Tank could even look for the hittables there. He does choose not to, though, because he does have 10 seconds on the clock for everybody, which is in perfect unison, by the way. Counting down exactly at the same time. Tank is going to be looking for one of many of the dumpsters. He does have about 5 billion of them, to be honest. Here he has 4 of them. He's choosing against them for the time being, though. Going to be on the rooftop. He has taken 700 damage, actually, before he has done anything just yet. Smoker, hunter, and a jockey. You really do want a jockey and a smoker here, to be honest, because they can set up the hittables quite well. Dumpster moving in there precariously, actually. It lands... Oh, could have even scratched Bill for a second there. No hittables are successful just yet, though. It is difficult, really. The survivors have a lot of things to use to dodge it. Smoker first onto Lewis. That's an interception. Hunter onto Zoe. Not Zoe. Yeah, Zoe. It is Zoe. That is also a tri-cap as well. In-cap onto Zoe. Bill just about manages the clears onto the remaining pinned survivors. And unfortunately, well, the reason I didn't get too hype is because it looked a lot better than it actually was. Because the tank was nearing death there and the survivors were bound to be cleared in time. So it was very good, mind you. Very, very good to pin Zoe up there. But really, that's all she wrote. Survivors still in pretty good health here. Smoker, Charger, Boomer, and a Spitter is a 2-2, which they will be sending in here. Charger first, looking for the pin. He does get the pin. That's going to be a decent boom as well. Jockey doesn't have as much luck, though. And Bill is going to be taking a fair bit of damage from the Spit before the dumpster comes to his saviour. Yeah, Innuendo, actually, that's a good point, to be honest. He did take a little bit of chip before he went in. I think that maybe would have made that go a lot better, to be honest. So yeah, that is a good point, to be fair. Although, the boys do have a quad cap here. Jockey, Charger, Smoker, and a Hunter. Let's just see how this quad cap pays off, though. You know, they are coming up to a dangerous choke point as well. A very ideal place to execute a quad cap, let's say. Survivors being cautious because they are aware of the risks of this choke point. Jockey moves in with the Hunter. Everybody's moving in. Smoker from behind, but Charger is unsuccessful, unfortunately. And the Hunter's going to land for a brief period onto Zoe, but that is all she wrote. The quad cap, unfortunately for the boys, is unsuccessful. Survivors now have no difficulty making it into the open area. They have 3 sets of pain pills, and at this present moment, nobody actually needs to take any. It's just onwards and upwards for the survivors here. They have a Boomer, Charger, Spitter, and a Jockey. Boomer gets a boom onto 1 to start things off. Let's just see if anything follows from it. Jockey Charger and a Spitter is what they have. They are not choosing to go in, though, it seems. They will be waiting for that fourth and final spawn. Of which is going to be a Smoker. So they have a Tri-Cap with that Spitter. Smoker and Jockey from behind. Smoker is shut down very quickly. Nice double charge, though, followed by the Spit. That could be some decent damage, at least onto Lewis. Yes, indeed. That is some pretty good damage. That is a decent hit, all things considered. So well played to the boys for executing that. They need maybe a couple more of those, and they could be looking at maybe reducing this health bonus even more. So, you know, let's, for the sake of keeping the game close, let's just hope that they can execute this properly, especially with Bill. He does have a lot of health. Boomer gets a nice boom in the window frame there onto one survivor, nicely positioned. Hunter is pouncing around. He has a Jockey and a Smoker to work with, and in they move. Hunter is skeeted very nicely. Double charge again, though. These guys clearly loving the double charges. And that's going to be so much HP reduced again. They're hitting the survivors with a lot of aggression here, and it is paying off for sure. The boys really are putting up the pressure onto Winserial, and they are doing a lot of damage. One more hit remaining here. It may have to be a bit of a staggered one. Hunter Jockey with the Spitter and the Boomer. Jockey is going to spawn up first, moving out, getting dead stop though. Hunter is coming in from behind, lands onto Zoe, but the Spit is going to be onto Francis as well. Two people caught in the Spit right outside the safe room. That is brutal. They're going to have to revive them very quickly because spawns will be coming up in 5 seconds. They should be able to, as long as they're quick enough. And indeed, they are quick enough. This time, the Charger Stumble isn't going to kill anybody in the safe room, but survivors do impressively make it into the safe room without taking any of their pain pills there. That was pretty good. I mean, they didn't really have to because nobody was actually black and white even after the in-caps. But all in all, though, very, very well played to the Winserial survivors there for preserving their pain pills. That was very well played. However, let's see what the boys have to offer here. They definitely have much to offer. They're not a mechanically ungifted team whatsoever. They do know what the darn hell they're doing in terms of Left 4 Dead 2. Let's just hope that they can demonstrate it here in their Survivor round on chapter number 3. Going to be against the Boomer Spitter with a Hunter Jockey, both moving in. Hunter is going to land as well as the Boomer. Spitter is going to be onto the car there, but well, I say on, but more like below the car. Not the best place really to pin somebody as a Hunter because the Spit can actually go through that car. Bit of a dodgy one, that one is. All in all, they have taken a little bit of damage, but not really too much to be concerned about. They do have the crescendo followed by the tank fight to deal with here, so let's just see how they approach both things. It appears they are running a very Uzi heavy focused setup here with 3 Uzis and that 1 shotgun, which I suppose with high pings that can be advantageous really. Charger moving in with a rocket spawn first though, and unfortunately as a result of that the quad cap is not successful. Forgot to mention it was a quad cap, by the way, but well, I mean, it didn't really work, so there's not much use anyway. Charger was a little bit earlier than everybody else, and unfortunately, in the majority of cases, an early Charger usually leads to the Charger dying pretty quickly, because focus firing a Charger is very crucial. Boomer's going to be going from below, but, I mean, he does get very nicely popped there by somebody that I can't see. Who the heck is that? Presto. Excuse me, sorry. It was really confusing there. The chat was overlapping itself for some reason. Charger, Spitter, and a Smoker. And in 3 seconds, the final spawn is going to be a Hunter. So it's a tri-cap with the Spitter. Smoker spawning up, looking for the pull through that window frame. Quite intelligent, but couldn't quite make it happen. That's going to be a separation. Actually, Smoke followed by the Charger. And a Hunter, 1 damage pounce, Smoker from below as well. Going to be cleared pretty quickly, but my goodness, they have taken a huge chunk of damage there. particularly in the case of Lewis and Francis. They have taken a huge chunk there. Not really devastating amounts, but certainly something to be a little bit concerned about. Because they're nearing that threshold where they'll have to take their pills in the tank fight, because they'll be a few punches away. Boomer from above is not quite successful. That's unfortunate, really. He's going to be popped. Jockey landing onto Zoe. Only for a brief period. Charger moves in, lands the charge. And there we have it. Francis is now limping. That means that he has absolutely no choice but to take his pain pills when the tank commits. Significant damage been inflicted so far, but not, you know, it's significant, but not a hugely worrying amount. Tank is now going to be moving these dumpsters in. No luck so far, but then again, having luck here is pretty difficult with the dumpsters. There is one dumpster positioned behind them, another one coming in as well behind them. That's going to be, well, unfortunately, an unsuccessful boomer there, I believe. Tank is taking a lot of chip here. He has taken just over 2,000 chip. Ooh, well, he's going to have to see what he can do with the hittables he has at his disposal. He's going to have to hope for some bowling level strikes here, really. First dumpster moving out, to be honest. He couldn't quite get that. He is moving straight in for Bill there. Going to be missing the second punch, unfortunately, though. That's going to be a Hunter landing temporarily onto Francis, followed by the... oh, and he hits the dumpster the wrong way. Unfortunately, the jockey set up the dumpster for him, and unfortunately the tank... Oh, that's heartbreaking for the tank. Oh, he hit the dumpster the wrong way, ladies and gentlemen. The jockey set everything up. That's so unfortunate. That proves why communication is so valuable. It's such a valuable thing, and they clearly didn't have it there. Oh, that's got to be heartbreaking for the poor team Winserial, but onwards and upwards for the boys here. Being in pretty decent health, really. Smoker from behind, Charger second, gets the charge, followed by the Boomer and the spit combination, but, I mean, the Smoker's going to be pinning Lewis in the spit there. Could even be going down, just barely avoids it. Huge chunk of damage there inflicted onto the boys. Absolutely huge damage coming out here. The special infected attacks, arguably, are actually better than the tank fights, really. Considering like how important tank fights are in Left 4 Dead 2, the special infected attacks appear to be what are making the most of the difference. Charger, Jockey, and a Hunter, followed by a Boomer. Charger moves in with the Jockey, landing the charge. That's a tri-cap right there, followed by a Boomer. That could even be a quad boom, just barely. I mean, the dual pistols actually were quite good there from Francis to clear the Jockey at long range. But my goodness, a huge chunk of HP again taken away, just ripped away from the boys as they continue slowly but surely through this map with two people limping here. Nobody has actually been in-capped yet, though, so they at least have that to their advantage. Going to be moving into this broken little room here. That's going to be an in-cap onto the survivors, onto Lewis. Hunter moving in, skeeted very effortlessly, though. That's very well played. Charger is going to be focus-fired into oblivion, and the remaining spawns simply dead. So, reasonably played so far. They just really have to hope they make it to the safe room here, though, and they have to... I mean, it's easier said than done, but they have the task of preserving Zoe's permanent HP. That is going to be a tremendously difficult task. Jockey, Boomer, Spitter, and a Hunter in the hands of the special infected. Boomer onto 2, very nicely done. 6 damage pounce onto Lewis, followed by the spit, which will result in an in-cap. He is unfortunately black and white. And, ooh, I mean, he's been black and white last round as well, so Crunchy not really getting the best of luck here. He's black and white near the safe room in most cases. Let's just hope a situation that Frey experiences doesn't repeat himself and he gets into the safe room only to die from a Charger stumble. Jockey from behind with the Charger. Charger is unsuccessful, but the alarm car is triggered on account of the Jockey. Charger's going to be helping the Jockey, and Smoker is going to be pulling for a very long time as well. That's going to be a guaranteed in-cap onto Zoe in the back here. Not looking good for the survivors whatsoever. Everybody surrounded by common infected. That's another in-cap there onto Bill. Lewis, aka Crunchy, is black and white, so he's nearing death here. Jockey is moving in for the delay, getting the in-cap onto Francis, the last remaining survivor, the one, the only. Crunchy on black and white with the spit trying to eliminate him. Can't quite do so, though. He's being backed up into a corner, and the Hunter's going to scratch him to death, literally. And that is going to conclude their run here with 2,218 points in the hands of Winserial, 1,213 points in the hands of the boys. So we are looking at a 1,005 point separation between these two teams, which mathematically can be done, but you're hoping for an early wipe followed by a good health bonus. Of course, we are on installment number 1 as well, so we do have 4 more chapters to play after this one. New Kensington, I like that. I'm aware of a few places over in the good old US of A. So yes, there is indeed no finale, so we will be moving on to another chapter 1 until chapter 4 in the second installment, where, as I've said, we are going to be swapping the situation from home and away in reverse. The final chapter of Dead Air for this half of the installment shall be underway pretty soon. Just one more player we will be waiting on. No travel bags. Yeah, I like that. And we are going live. Survivor's going to be exiting the safe room, not meeting an attack just yet. Hunter is pre-spawned and he's looking to pounce in here, getting caught on the rocks a few times. Jockey and Hunter are both going to land. That's going to be a Hunt-Spit combination for a brief period, not too much damage, and the Boomer is last, and he will be popped before he can make anything happen. He couldn't quite get the spawn behind those chairs there. This is definitely the more indoor-focused of the Dead Air maps. Most of them are pretty outdoor-focused, I would say. Jockey, Charger, Smoker, and a Hunter. Indeed, as I suspected, it's a quad cap, because the Boomer did die last there. And it's a closed area as well, a corridor in particular. Charger moving in for the charge, gets the charge as well as the Hunter, but as we can see, the Smoker couldn't get the spawn there, so a separation jockey as well is going to do some damage, but, well, unfortunately the Smoker couldn't quite get a spawn, so the synchronization was a little bit lacking, and that's unfortunate for the boys there, because that could actually have turned this game around completely. But of course, you can't dwell on the past, you have to think about the present and the future, because there is now a Charger, Hunter, Spitter, and a Boomer. Not in the most ideal of situations, though. This is a very ideal location to fight this horde. Charger moving in, as well as the Hunter. He could have gotten a charge there, actually, but the focus fire was just too good. Spit was a little bit shorter. However, the survivors have taken at least some damage, especially in the case of Bill. Bill being at 65 HP exactly. Going to be looking at what the next attack is in a moment. And we do actually have another quad cap in the hands of the boys. Attempt number 2. Round number 2. Let's see how they fare with this one. Jockey moving in first. Smoker's going to be missing the smoke, but that's a good separation charger. Hunter gets the interception. Jockey moving for Zoe. Smoker needs to finish it off here, but he can't quite do it. Oh my goodness, the Smoker was just a few seconds too late. Still very good damage, mind you, but that was a tri-cap and nearly a quad cap. So unfortunate for the boys. Oh, the sad boys, I should say, really. That's unfortunate for them. Survivors now going to have to make their way forward. And crunchy palms are sweaty, yep. Knees weak, arms are heavy. Jockey, Hunter, Boomer, and a Spitter. Boomer onto 2 survivors. Hunter moving in, landing the Hunt-Spit combination, which is, well, obliterating Francis a little bit there. However, that is all she wrote for the attack, as Lewis is very fortunate that Spit isn't touching him there, because he could have even been in-cap there. He does need pills as well. Although, they're going to choose to incap him because that is his first incapacitation, which means he won't be black and white on revival, and he will have more HP when he takes his pain pills. Charger, Smoker, Boomer, and a Jockey. Tank still has not yet spawned. It will do just now, though. Smoker is spawned up, but completely caught out there, and will be meeting his demise. Smoker is looking... Survivors are looking to retreat. Boomer attempt is successful, actually, behind there. That was very well played. He is going to stumble his Charger friend, though, and let him die. But he does get a boom, and that is quite surprising. Tank is already in on the Survivors. He is looking for the separation. He is looking for the chaos here. He has a Hunter to help him as well. And if the Hunter can pin Bill here, he is simply dead. So he has to hope he can keep this Hunter. Hunter is moving for him. He is so far away from his Survivors. Yeah, he's probably looking like he's going to end his life here. Indeed, he is. Hunter is guaranteed to kill him there, really, if the cover is good enough. Anyway, they do actually clear the Hunter. Very well played, very aggressive gameplay. Can it be a wipe, though? Tank is looking for more punches. He's just below half HP now. Jockey is looking to help him here. But really, the Survivors playing so well to dodge everything else they have coming at them. Rock attempt is going to be unsuccessful, and they are probably going to even kill the Tank here. Well, that went exactly oppositely to how I thought it would. I thought, well, he's so separated, the Hunter pinning him will kill him. But the Survivors were so on his tail. Incredible. Very, very well played by Winserial there. They really did make that Tank just not have a clue what he was doing, and that's very well played. Charger, Spitter, and a Hunter for the Escalator. Although they won't be able to go for it because the final spawn is not up. So Smoker, Charger, Hunter, and a Spitter. Hunter is going to be pouncing in here, pouncing onto Francis, followed by the Charger, who is also going to be charging Francis in the spit there. He is health bonus, that's what they want, but unfortunately he was able to get out of it pretty quickly. Weirdly quickly, to be honest. But there we have it. They shall be continuing onwards and upwards. They don't have the best health bonus, but considering how far ahead they are, any health bonus is really going to exaggerate their position right now. Certainly they haven't won, but it's definitely not possible for a comeback in these scores, really, for the boys on this half. Jockey is going to be moving in, as well as the Hunter and the Boomer. That's going to be nearly a tri-cap, actually. Good interception from the Hunter off the Smoker. That's going to be a big chunk of their HP gone again. The infected attacks are really good, to be honest. From both of these teams, to be completely honest. Survivors make it into the safe room, putting themselves at 2,806 points. We shall be moving on to the final half of the fourth and final chapter of this half of the installment. That is a mouthful. Going to be the boys playing on Survivor side now, and obviously for their sake, their biggest goal in mind here is to make it to the safe room with a health bonus, because they really need to keep themselves in the game and not let Winserial have as much of a behemoth of a lead as they do right now. They really need to close this, and I'm more than certain they have what it takes to do that, but they just need to show that here. Shall be dealing with a Boomer, Spitter with the Hunter and Jockey. Hunter is going to be spawned up ahead, moving in, landing onto Francis with the spit combination. Jockey in the spit as well, and well, that's going to be some decent damage, to be honest, considering the setup and considering how they executed it. That is a decent result, all things considered. Good damage onto Lewis. Not really much to worry about when you're the Survivors, though, so they are going to continue moving forward here. Charger and a Smoker, followed by a Hunter and a Jockey. So now it's Winserial's time to inflict the good old quad cap. Let's see how lucky they are with it, though, really, because the Survivors have a lot of places to use to essentially, especially with the Charger, make his life hell.
Got a weapon here.
Choosing not to go in just yet. Smoker's going to be spawning up here, going for Zoe. Good positioning. That's going to be a 16 damage pounce, but that is unfortunately the last highlight of the quad cap. of which was not a quad cap, unfortunately, but still, a damage pounce. It was at least something. They have chipped away some more damage. And at the very least, that is indeed what they are going to be hoping for here. They really do want to weaken the survivors before the tank fight. That's some serial here. Charger, Hunter, Spitter, and a Boomer. It is a 2-2. Hunter moving in first. He does get connection, followed by the Spit, and the Charger is unable to really make anything follow, though, but Chargers here are very difficult. But again, as we can see, damage is piling up onto the boys. They need to be very careful with how much damage they're taking here. Of course, considering the upcoming tank fight, they really do need to be careful of how much damage they let happen here. Any more damage onto Adam, and he could even be limping, so they need to be careful of that. Adam being Francis, by the way. Hunter and Jockey both moving in. That's going to be a connection of the Jockey and the Hunter onto the same target, and not really much more can happen besides a separation Jockey in the back, really. I mean, deals some damage. And again, like the damage is honestly quite surprising, but they are at the ping disadvantage, I have to highlight, though, so it is a little bit more difficult. But still doable, as these guys have been proving. They do have a tank fight to get through, and let's just hope for their sake it's not as chaotic as Winserial's, because that could be very stressful. Charger and a Hunter with a Boomer and a Spitter. Charger moving in for Francis, gets the connection, followed by the Spit, and the Hunter's going to be landing as well onto Lewis. They're going to be hoping they don't stumble Francis in the Spit here, which they do indeed do so. That's going to be an in-cap onto Francis straight away. Ooh. That is unfortunate. Ends up getting stumbled in the Spit. Poor guy. Well, he's been revived and he has taken his pain pills, so he will be good for now. But the upcoming tank fight is really going to test the boys here. It's really going to really force them to play at their absolute best, because they need this health bonus. Separation Smoker can't quite work out there. Charger is moving in, gets the charge, followed by the lovely interception from the Hunter there, and as we can see, the tank is immediately in the face of Bill, getting the in-cap onto him, looking for somebody else here, but I mean, he can't really get too close before taking too much damage. He is actually going to be in-capping Zoe as well. Let's just hope for their sake it's not a wipe, though. He's looking for Francis. He ends up pinning Francis as well. He's stuck between the ceiling and the suitcases. That's going to be a rock miss onto Lewis. However, Jockey followed by Charger, followed by Tank, and Common Infected is going to secure the not the victory. They haven't won it yet, but they have won this half of the installment. With 1,500 points, technically, I'll be specific, 1,499 points in the hands of the boys, and 2,806 points in the hands of Winserial. Yeah, Blue, I nearly said a combination of luggage and suitcases, so I was going to say loot cases. That's why I was stumbling on my words there. I literally nearly said loot cases. Just getting into the to the server, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Just getting everybody set up, so there's not going to be much. There's not going to be much going on at the moment. It's just going to be getting them in. For some reason, Crychat, I have connected to the previous server. Why am I not connecting to your server? But yeah, just a little bit of downtime, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you for the nice bedding. Yeah, it's full of dogs. I really like dogs, basically. That'd be my justification. Good evening, morning, night, or afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. If you are just tuning in, welcome, but I'm afraid we are in the second half now of this particular installment. We have now swapped over to a New York-based server, which is going to put the boys over into a home advantage, with the majority of them being from that region. Just resetting the scores now, so 2,806 points in the hands of Winserial, which might have been set wrongly, but 1,499 points in the hands of the boys. Minus 1k because Frey is underaged. Oh dear. Okay, right. That seems like a harsh punishment, but okay, interesting. Just making sure we can get the points right. That would be very important, to be honest. So as we speak, you know, they do have a fair lead, Winserial, but that can all change now that they've swapped over to the away side and ping is no longer in their favor. That could actually change the dynamic here. So let's just hope that we have a comparable game to last game, because although the points were a little bit separated, it was a very exciting game and it had many exciting moments. So let's just hope for a repeat of that. So, yeah, there we are. I believe they are yeah, so there's some small arguments going on in the chat here. Hopefully we can return to a civil environment, because that's what we want. But thank you everybody for tuning in to this installment of the United Nations tournament, where the victorious teams are going to be looking forward to $150 worth of cash prize in this entirely community-run game. So hats off to the community of Left 4 Dead 2. Give yourselves a pat on the back, because without you, Left 4 Dead 2 would literally be non-existent. So we shall be going live, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully everybody is having a lovely time watching, or is as lovely as a time as I am commentating. We are live in the second half of this installment. Special Infected traditionally are going to be waiting for the upcoming wooden planks that connect one building to the other. Hunter is going to be pre-spawned above the survivors, just waiting for his chance to shine. There is a boomer behind the survivors as well. Let's just see how they play this, though. Jockey is going to be looking for that rocket jump and probably going to be looking to hang somebody. Although they are calling a restart, because they would like to reset the tank spawns. So sorry guys, all we can really do is apologize on behalf of this. We just need to make sure that everything is properly configured, although Adam is being ever so slightly rude here, and he, you know, probably should pipe down a little bit, because we are technically in a tournament. Yeah, I do have to agree. I mean, I respect Adam, you know, because he's a pretty good player at the game, but he is being a little bit questionable in terms of attitude. So let's just hope that does fix here, because we do, obviously, we want a civil game. We want a fun game after all, because it's, you know, it's Left 4 Dead 2. It's 11 years old and all that. So we just want the atmosphere to be filled with good vibes. Hopefully everybody is having a wonderful day. Just going to be waiting on the tank sets, the tank spawns to be set, and I believe we should be ready after the small technical difficulty. Just waiting on confirmation, and we shall be going live. Although the scores actually haven't been set as well, so I'm wondering if they would want to do that. Wait, not 11, but it came out in 2009. What, did it come out like late? I don't even remember, to be honest. I absolutely don't remember when it came out exactly, but there we have it. We are going live, ladies and gentlemen, in the second half of this United Nations tournament between Winserial and the boys. The boys now on Survivor side, and Winserial now on Infected side. Charger, Smoker, and a Hunter, followed by a Boomer, is going to be the setup for this plank choke point, as they walk the plank, as you say. Nobody choosing to go over just yet, as Adam, aka Zoe, has chosen first, Bill second, everybody all third and fourth. No attack just yet. So it does appear that they are waiting for a more appropriate situation. Honestly, they do have a very good attack, and they are going to be looking to attack with the setup they have now. That's going to be a boom onto one person. That's going to be a Hunter landing as well onto Bill. Not for too long though. Smoker looking for the hang, but he can't quite get it in time. And that is going to be the survivors successfully relocating into the greenhouse. And they also, of course, can replenish their ammo. The slots are not limited, by the way. We should probably do that. Charger's going to be getting absolutely nobody there, unfortunately, but that's really to be expected, to be honest. Yes, indeed. They're going to be limiting the slots. Tank's going to be looking to reposition here. He is losing rage on 60% of pass number 2, still declining. So he is going to choose to go in here with his Boomer, Jockey, and Hunter. Boomer gets a boom onto one survivor. That could open up some opportunities. Jockey, however, is dead stops and dealt with very easily. Hunter is pouncing around. Tank is looking for the first pin. He can't quite land the punches just yet, though. Ends up punching Zoe. There is a connection temporarily onto Lewis by the Hunter. That's going to be an in-cap potentially. Oh, it's not an in-cap. Several of the punches, unfortunately, couldn't quite connect there, so they didn't suffer an in-cap here, the boys, and, well, their health bonus so far is looking pretty good, but as we all know, the special infected attacks in this game have been pretty good, so they have to be careful of that. But all in all, very good result by the boys. Charger and a Smoker with a Spitter and a Boomer. Boomer moves in and gets a boom onto one survivor. However, they're still inside, so there's not really much to capitalize on. And out the survivors move. Smoker followed by Charger is going to be a death charge, ladies and gentlemen. It was looking so good for them, but oh, Crunchy. I don't believe that's the first time he got death charged. He actually did get death charged again in the last round as well. So unfortunate for the poor man, Crunchy. His bones being crunched on the ground floor there. That's so unfortunate. Death charge has been pulled off. And that's just so demoralizing, but we have to move onwards and upwards. Boomer from below onto one, onto Francis. That's all she wrote for the Boomer, though. Going to be popped shortly after. They have a Charger and a Hunter. They have to wait 4 more seconds for the 4th and final spawn, but Infected have to move in, really. Charger's moving in, doesn't get a connection. He's going to get scratches. Well, he's going to get 1 scratch, actually. Spitter is the last remaining setup they get, but, I mean, he can't really delay them. They are still going to make it into the safe room. Although Zoe's on the wrong side of the door, so that's not really very good. However, they make it into the safe room, and they only put themselves at 2,042. It was looking so darn gosh good until they got death charged. That's so unfortunate. So yeah, that was the same location, not to mention the same, honestly, the same situation, apart from a Smoker instead of a Hunter. So, well, That is what you call terrible luck. I wonder if it was the same charger as well. I don't know, but yeah, definitely some deja vu going on there. And now we're moving on to Winserial playing their survivor side. Going to be dealing with a charger, boomer, smoker, and a hunter, same as always. Depends what the special infected decide to do, whether they wait for the tank or if they attack around about here, which charger is on the high ground, so they might be attacking here. They have repositioned onto the roof ahead, though, so they might actually be looking for later. But of course, we have no idea, because we are just the viewers, and we have to see what they choose to do in the end, because it is their game. Zoe being the first, everybody else following. No attack at the plank of woods. Plank of woods? Plank of wood would be correct. Lewis makes his way first and foremost into the corridor, as do the rest. Nothing really happening just yet, though. Survivors are going to be triggering the tank here. Same strategy as always. AI Boomer going to be coming in soon. However, well, he gets popped before he can even drop. Hunter moving in, misses the 25, unfortunately, and will be cleared very quickly. Charger is waiting, and he's going to be moving in, but he unfortunately cannot manage the death charge. Very nice rock skeet, just barely. However, there's somebody hanging. Tank is currently throwing a rock, though, and they can cover that very easily. I have to say, maybe if the tank wasn't throwing a rock in that exact position, he possibly could have gotten something. However, they do make it into the greenhouse here. Tank being in the hands of Presto for the boys. Boomer, Jockey, and a Hunter is his supporting setup. He's on pass number 1, 25% of it. Taken just about 400 chip. However, the Boomer from above getting a boom onto 2 survivors, that's going to open up something at the very least. Tank is also going to be looking to go on top of the survivors, which, yes, indeed, yeah, he's on the roof. He's going to be dropping down straight onto them, and he has every angle and position to do so, which he's biding his time, though. Eventually, he does move in. He's going to be looking for the first punch, which he does so onto Bill. Common Infected still in there, really. Misses another punch, though, unfortunately. Ends up punching Bill, and he's going to be pinning him. Nearly dead, though, is the tank. He's going to be getting the in-cap. No, he isn't going to... Yeah, he isn't. I thought he would, yeah. However, that's all she wrote. 1 in-cap in total. Hunter is going to drop down from the rooftop there, but that's all she wrote for the tank of the boys. Hunter going to be moving in just simply because he's out of position. He doesn't really have much more to do there, so does end up getting rid of his life with no real other option but to. Charger, Smoker, and a Spitter. They actually have the setup that caused them to be death charged, so let's just hope for their sake that they can actually pull this off. Crunchy actually instructions there, and I like the idea behind it, but let's just see how they choose to execute this. They also have a Boomer. Smoker is going to be moving in. Focus fire, though. That's going to be possibly a death charge. It's not a death charge, unfortunately. He is hanging, although does he actually get back up, or does he fall down? That's very strange. That should really have been a death charge, to be honest. That's well, he has to jump, but that's that. Honestly, I'm a little bit disappointed for the boys, to be honest with you. That's very disappointing. That should have been a death charge. That's very, very unfortunate. That genuinely is just bad luck. So there you have it. That's going to be a Charger, Jockey, and a Hunter. Charger moving in, and a Hunter. That's going to be a double spit. However, the spit's a bit too far. Jockey can't really get them into the spit either. That could have been so much more damage, but the Spitter was a little bit overreaching there. Well, oh, that's so unfortunate. That really should have been a death charge, so the boys are not going to be happy with that whatsoever. It's inexplicable that he would hang from there. But there we have it. The boys are going to continue their lead upward, and they're going to put it up to 3,554 versus 2,042. Well, So yeah, I mean the missed spitter and the unfortunate death charge that wasn't a death charge. That's not the greatest of luck. But they can't think about that though. Of course, they have to look onwards and upwards. Most important thing for the boys is not to let it get to their heads and keep their head in the game and just think about their next attack, their next tank fight, their next survivor round. You know. By all means, learn from mistakes, but don't dwell on them because that's going to affect your gameplay. They're still in this game to some degree. As we now enter into chapter number 2 of Dead Air. One of my favourite maps, really, in terms of both Left 4 Dead 1 and in Left 4 Dead 2. They're just enjoyable overall. Because I used to play Left 4 Dead 1 when it was released on the PC, and I played it when it was very new. It was very fun. Just waiting on a few more players to ready up here. After, of course, we set one of the tank spawns. Tank going to be over at 82%, which is, of course, going to be around the office. So that's a very difficult tank fight. In many senses, to be honest, for both the survivors and the infected. And we are live into chapter number 2. Boomer with a smoker charger and a hunter is going to be the setup for presumably the ladder choke point, but let's just see if that's what they actually choose to attack at. Pink Makara, I absolutely agree. I really do hope that happens. That's going to be Charger moving in as well as the Hunter. 25 damage pounce from the boys. Well, that's a good start, to be honest. Let's just hope that they can continue that kind of gameplay. Lion with the ferocious 25 damage pounce there. I mean, not really much more happened, to be honest with you. But yeah, as I was saying, I do agree. I hope that the scoreline gets a little bit more close. And to be honest, it would have been close if that death charge applied. But, well, there you have it. Spitter and a jockey, followed by a charger, and in 2 seconds it is going to be completed with a hunter. So they have a tri-cap with the spitter here, that being the boys. Death charge is possible here, however they're going to move in for the spit damage instead. Hunter and spitter both keeping them in, as well as the jockey. Absolutely brutal damage happening here. Yeah, the boys really are angry now. They are definitely angry, and you can tell they do not want to lose this game. These attacks have anger written all over them. That is a lot of damage onto Lewis there. So they're going to be hoping they keep that level of spirit up. And if their attacks keep going like that, then Winserial are in trouble. Boomer, Smoker, Hunter, and a Charger. So they have a tri-cap with the Boomer. But, I mean, survivors are in a good place now. Charger moves in. He gets a scratch onto the hunted victim. And Boomer's going to get a boom onto 1. Smoker can't really make much happen there, though. But that's much easier said than done. But there we have it. I mean, the damage is piling up, and let's just see how much more it piles up, especially with the spitters. I mean, that damage on the previous attack, not the previous one, but the one before that, was helped with the spitter and the hunter charger, so... Hunter, Smoker, Jockey, and a Spitter. Spit in the doorway with the Hunter, followed by the Smoker and the Jockey, keeping her in the Spit. Ooh, that's going to be good damage again. That's what they want. They are really making good use of these Spitters, and I have to say the boys, like I say, they definitely are angry now, because these attacks are so much better. So let's just see how much further they can get here. Charger, Boomer, Hunter, and a Spitter for this choke point where a death charge is possible, but very difficult to pull off, really. They now have this little crate to climb over. No attack just yet. They might be looking to try to get a death charge somehow. It is possible in many areas here. They only really have a hunter, though, so the hunter really has to pin the right person, and then the charger has to go in at the exact right time, you know, so... Boomer from below doesn't really get the boom, though. I believe he was a bit ambitious there, and he does get himself popped. But that could open the door for a jockey or a smoker, which is going to be good for the charger. Another plank of wood to get over, which is not going to really trouble them too much. Charger, Smoker, and a Hunter is what they have now with the Spitter. Charger is rocketing in here, looking for somebody. There's going to be a dual cap. Nice Smoker and Hunter, actually. That's going to be spit damage onto Bill in the spit, so the damage definitely is piling up, but a charge spit combination would have been a little bit more ideal there. Going to be making it over this, again, plank of wood, which is very common in Dead Air, actually. Planks of wood. Boomer and a Spitter with a Jockey and a Charger. Jockey's going to move in first for distraction for the Charger. Double charge! That could even be Spit as well, but oh, they killed the Spitter! My goodness, that is so clutch. They actually managed to kill the Spitter and save themselves from taking double spit damage. Very well played to whomever popped that Spitter. I didn't quite see who did, because I was thinking the Spitter was going to land, so very well played by Winserial there. Tank is now going to be spawning in this office space here, so let's see how they can play this. Hunter, Boomer, and a Jockey. Boomer onto one survivor. Is that enough for the tank to commit, I wonder? He is a little bit far away, but he might be looking to. Yes, indeed, he has chosen to go in. Hunter is pouncing around for distraction here. Tank climbing over these tables. Nobody pinned just yet. He ends up pinning Bill, though. Misses the second punch, unfortunately. Ends up getting another punch onto Bill, but he's now separated. Hunter is moving in, and that's going to be a Charger and Jockey both landing at the same time. Francis is going to have to clear these guys really quickly. 2 in-caps. Tank is still on over 1,000 HP here. He's probably going to in-cap Zoe as well. He's chasing Francis. This is the last remaining survivor, but he's 400 HP. He has to retreat. He has no choice to retreat. There's also a Jockey. He's going to be reviving... he's going to be reviving Lewis there successfully, actually. There's a Smoker moving in as well. And there's also a Boomer, but the tank is going to meet his demise. That was so close. However, Smoker still keeping the pressure as well as the Boomer. Reloading as well is Lewis there, so he couldn't clear very quickly. They're going to successfully revive Zoe as well. I'm tripping up on my words because there's so much happening right now. My goodness. There is a Spitter to help delay the get-up as well, which he may end up doing. He does indeed choose to do so. He ends up spitting and therefore delaying the get-up. They now have a Charger and a Hunter. They're probably going to send them in as well, really. They want to keep this pressure up. Nobody black and white just yet, though, and they have actually chosen against sending in any more spawns, which, to be honest, yeah, now that I think of it, would be a good idea. But my goodness. Time to breathe for a little bit. However, we now have a Jockey, Hunter, Charger, and a Boomer. Jockey and Hunter both from behind as well as the Boomer. That's going to be a decent dual cap. Oh, unfortunately not a dual cap because Hunter and Charger went for the same target. Several scratches from the Charger, and survivors really are not in good health right now, but the safe room is not too far away. Survivors being at 85% of the map and, well, 15% to go. It's not too far away. They do have to exit this office, though, and they're having difficulty with this common infected overload. Smoker, Spitter, Jockey, and in 1 second, a Hunter. A Hunter 25 damage pounce could even in-cap somebody here if he gets the right target. Let's see how they play this. Spitter is ready and waiting. Behind the alarm car is the Smoker as well, looking to try to pull somebody. Looking to retreat instead, actually, and reposition. Hunter is spawned above the survivors. Jockey rocketing in as well. He's going to be landing. There's going to be a Hunter moving in for a damage pounce. Can't quite get it. However, that's Francis in the spit. All of their health bonus eliminated right up the safe room. 2 people incapacitated. Smoke into the alarm car, which will trigger the horde. So these guys are in a heck of a lot of trouble here. Winserial, if they make it into the safe room, I will be very flabbergasted, let's say. And they're going to try to revive Francis, the only person not being targeted by common infected. Let's see if they can make it, to be honest. I'm wondering. They do have a Charger to deal with as well as a Boomer and a Spitter. It isn't likely, but they are going to revive some survivors here. Charger moves in, gets the connection onto Francis, though, and will be incapacitating him with ease. That's going to be a Boomer followed by a Jockey. That is going to be the end of the road. On a road, literally, actually. However, they have put themselves at 4,124 points, which is considerable. However, it just depends really, like how the boys can play here. Like, if they can get a good health bonus, that is pretty much the key, but, I mean, against this level and caliber of team, it's not the easiest task, so they really have to make sure that they're on their A game. Just waiting on the man, the myth, the legend, Crunchy, to be readied up, and we shall be good to go. It will be interesting, though, because now they have the ping advantage, at least in terms of 3 of them. Lion, unfortunately, he's suffering a little bit, to be honest, because it was actually on away when his team was on home, so it's a bit of a weird situation to be in. Charger, Smoker, and a Hunter, followed by a Boomer, is what they have. Hunter is going to be scratching those planks barricading that door there. Pretty standard tactics. All survivors going to be running out into the open area here, watching the skies in particular because of what's about to happen, which is a Charger missing, unfortunately. Hunter looking for the damage pounce, but he can't quite get it, and he is very quickly cleared as well. Very well played by the survivors, actually. They cleared that attack very well, but they have to be careful of the common infected because, they can come from anywhere, really. Not to mention the difficulty they're giving the survivors with getting up this ladder. Jockey and a Charger with a Spitter in this corridor-based choke point, followed by a Boomer. So they do have that Boom-Spit combination, which is good for stumbles in an indoor area. Charger is going to spawn up, getting a scratch, but not a charge. Jockey is shut down as well as the Boomer. Very well played. Textbook perfect shutdown on that attack there. They're also going to wait for the Spit to dissipate so they can run through it. However, they didn't quite manage it, so they have to wait for it to dissipate regardless, the Death Spit. However, they have a window of opportunity to trigger the event, which they take with ease. Survivors now going to make their way to the traditional place that most people do take hordes here. Of course, this being the first bedroom here. Smoker moving in first, Hunter second. However, all of them are shut down really in the doorway, besides the Charger, who gets a charge temporarily. Damage is piling up, don't get me wrong, but it's not too much to worry about so far. If they can keep this level of health, at least until the tank fight, then that could allow them to get a decent health bonus, providing, of course, they kill the tank. I say these tasks as though they're easy, but they're really not. Hunter and a Smoker with a Boomer and a Spitter. Probably going to be looking to get one more attack here at the very least. Boomer spawning up, Spitter going to spit into the doorway, tries to combine with the Hunter, but he can't quite do so, and neither can the Smoker with pulling into the Spit. Boomer also does get popped. And therefore, the survivors are faced with very little difficulty. They are choosing to move backwards, I believe, to replenish ammo. I'm assuming that's what that is. Yes, indeed. They will be replenishing their ammunition. And continuing to progress, there's going to be a Hunter, Jockey, Charger with a Boomer. Death charge opportunity here. Let's see if they can pull it off. Boomer first is not popped onto anybody. Oh, that's a very bad place to be pinned there. But the Charger is showing himself. He shouldn't be showing himself. And also he charges the wrong person, unfortunately. He should have waited round the corner and he should have waited for the get-up animation. That's so unfortunate. That's another death charge that they ended up not quite getting, except it wasn't the boys this time. It was Winserial. So very unfortunate for them, but of course, onwards and upwards. You can't look in the past, you have to look to the future and the present, and only learn from the past. Hunter and a Smoker with a Spitter and a Boomer. Potential for Boom-Spit combination here. Let's see if it pays off, though. Hunter is crouched behind that little corner there. Smoker is attempting to make someone hang from the wood frame, but he can't quite do so. Survivor's very, very patient here. They want to bait out that tongue, which they do indeed. And now Francis is going to cross. One-shot skeet from Presto in the room. Very well played to Presto there. That was a very quick flick reaction level skeet there. Very good. However, yeah, good. I mean, good point to be honest, though, Blue. The damage is piling up. Winserial are definitely dealing considerable amounts of damage, all things considered. And I believe Presto, aka Zoe, is going to have to take her pain pills when the tank comes in. Hunter is spawned up behind the office tables, as is the jockey from behind. Charger moving in as well, can't get the connection, and neither can the spitter. So that's going to conclude yet to the death of the jockey. Tank is now spawned. Tank going to be in the hands of Frey, the man, the myth, the legend from Czech Republic. Survivors have chosen a slightly more defensive route. They are choosing to move all the way back instead of taking it in the office. Which possibly could work out for them, really. Boomer's going to get a boom onto one survivor. There's a smoker waiting behind them as well. And somebody just dumped to their death. What? Excuse me? Pardon? What the hell just happened? Okay, well, Crunchy has just fallen to his death. Tank is moving in. Hunter and Smoker are trying to get a dual cap over there. Tank is chasing down Zoe here, trying to get her. However, Smoker's going to allow possibly even a death punch here. Which, yes, indeed, is a death punch. But, yeah, consider me confused. Yeah, they're calling GG. Honestly, though, to be honest, guys, like, please don't flame these guys. Please don't mock them. Like, this game is very frustrating for them, and I completely understand why they want to head out here, because the death charge that didn't work, that should have worked, and well, Crunchy falling to his death. Like, let's try not to mock them too much, because you know they played well they played well, and you know, they still attempted a second half as well, but the game wasn't in their favour, and that does happen from time to time. So thank you very much for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, and I will be heading out, and hopefully seeing you pretty soon with some more updates and installments from the Cup. So it's GG's from me, and goodbye.